Recently, the strength and frequency of climatic cataclysms is rapidly growing throughout the Earth. Volcanic eruptions, fires and earthquakes, tornadoes, storms and hurricanes, floods and landslides now shake our planet almost every day. In this video, you will see moments of the fury of nature, which shook the planet in recent days. Heavy snowfall in northern India has seriously hampered daily life in many parts of the country. In Kashmir, a thick layer of snow has covered much of the region, causing power outages and delaying road, rail, and air travel. In some areas, there is a high risk of avalanches. In the Himalayan state of Himachal Pradesh, the authorities were forced to close some key highways and roads. Snow fell on the Arabian Peninsula. This footage was filmed in the Sultanate of Oman. Locals are excited about the snow. They post hundreds of videos on social media. But I don't think camels like this kind of weather. Snow in this area is rare, and yet this happens about once a decade. Sometimes the thickness of the snow cover reaches 10 centimeters, but the snow rarely stays longer than a day. On February 1st, a powerful magnitude 6 earthquake hit the southwestern Philippines. Tremors, which could be caused by tectonic processes, were felt by residents of several cities in the country. The Philippines is one of the countries with the highest seismic activity in the world. Local residents often suffer from strong earthquakes, but fortunately, this time there were no reports of casualties or damage. The active volcano Popocatépetl erupted in Mexico, throwing volcanic matter and ash into the air. In a matter of seconds, the column of smoke grew several kilometers, and the lava flow almost reached the nearest settlement. Local residents were advised not to approach the crater. Near the volcano declared a yellow level of danger. No one was hurt. Yakutia is one of the coldest regions of our planet, but last month was especially frosty. The average temperature in January was -45 degrees, 10 degrees below normal. In the second half of January, during the daytime, the air temperature did not rise above -40. Even for this region, such frosts are quite rare. A magnitude 5.6 earthquake hit Iran. This natural disaster occurred in Koy City in the western Azerbaijan province of Iran. 175,000 people live there. At least 20 tremors were recorded. According to preliminary estimates, the earthquake caused damage to 2 cities and more than 70 villages. The destruction was from 20 to 50%. On the morning of February 1st, an avalanche covered 3 groups of skiers who were skiing at the Gulmarg ski resort in India. Emergency services rescued 21 people. An avalanche descended from Mount Afarwat in Kashmir. Among the rescued skiers were tourists from Russia and Poland. Local authorities warn of an avalanche, but the tourists left the safe zone, despite the risk. The whole of Texas was covered with ice due to a powerful winter storm. The roads turned into a skating rink, and the trees were covered with icy glaze. There have been hundreds of accidents on state roads. Nearly 1,000 flights have been canceled in several states. Freezing rain damaged power lines in Austin, leaving 60 homes without power. On February 1st, the Shivlich volcano erupted in Kamchatka. A column of ash rose to a height of 6.5 kilometers. The ash plume spreads in a northeasterly direction towards Ozerny Bay. Fortunately, there were no settlements on the path of the ash plume. This is not the first eruption of this volcano this year. On January 19th, the Shivlich volcano threw ash to about the same height. Due to heavy rains that have not stopped in Panama since November, destructive landslides began. Dozens of houses were destroyed in the provinces of Los Santos and Herrera. Many settlements were flooded. The rains don't stop. According to weather forecasts, they will continue until the end of the month. Severe snowstorm hit northern Japan. A cold front with snow and strong winds brought a developing cyclone to northern Japan. In a number of cities, the temperature anti-record was updated, and the average temperature across the country fell to the lowest level in a decade. The Japan Meteorological Agency predicted an increase in heavy rainfall and extreme weather across a vast area of Japan. An anomalous amount of snow fell in Russian Novosibirsk. This will inevitably lead to floods in the spring. According to experts, the full scale of the problem can be assessed no earlier than April. Everything will depend on how quickly the snow melts and whether there will be precipitation in the spring. This year in Novosibirsk, not only did more snow fall, but the soil also froze much stronger. Hawaii is flooded with showers, and snowstorms are observed on the highest peaks. In some regions, more than 60 centimeters of rain fell. It was raining at a rate of 50 millimeters an hour. Some roads had to be closed. Heavy rain spread to the western islands. Heavy rains have caused terrible flooding in Sulawesi, Indonesia. 400 houses were underwater. In some areas, the water level has risen to 3 meters. Thousands of people had to evacuate to safety. The water washed away the soil. And as a result, landslides began that destroyed more than 50 houses. Manado City suffered the most. Here, the authorities were forced to declare a state of emergency. In Yakutia, wolves began to behave strangely. The invasion of these predators occurs every year, but this time their number has doubled. The wolves killed 9 horses in the village of Kundiade and 1 more outside. Why are there more wolves? What happened? Nobody can answer these questions. The hunt is on for the wolves. Japanese madake bamboo blossomed in the arboretum of the Soki National Park. This plant blooms only once every 60 years. Its stems reach 17 meters in height and 10 centimeters in diameter. After flowering, fruiting, and death of the entire plantation is expected. Such a feature of this species. A magnitude 6.4 earthquake hit Taiwan. Due to tremors, the subway had to stop working. There were 5 powerful shocks in total. The chandelier swayed and objects fell off the shelves. No injuries or damage from the latest quake had been reported. No sooner had Auckland, New Zealand, recovered from the recent flooding. the weathermen were already warning of the next one. A state of emergency caused by heavy rains is in effect in the northernmost regions of the country. Full-flowing rivers and wet soil will contribute to new floods. Due to the threat of flooding in Auckland, schools have been closed and evacuation centers have been set up. On February 1st, hail the size of grape fell in Anapa, Russian Federation. Of course, hail even the size of a chicken egg has already begun to fall in the world for a long time. But for this region, even such hail is an anomaly. A fireball flew over Krasnoyarsk. Many eyewitnesses managed to capture this moment on camera and post it online. Judging by its brightness, and it is brighter than the full moon, the fireball has a size of several meters. Such stones burn out almost completely when flying in the atmosphere. Although some amount of matter may fall to the surface of the Earth.